Yeah, morning, fellas, zombies. It's almost 6 o'clock West Coast time. It's the 12th of May, 2026. A diary of a graver named John Weaver, which is me, is here. Yeah, somewhat darkened because I just got up. I'm going to be dealing with my dog and everything else in the morning. I'm questioning myself these days. Why the hell am I following all these social media posts left and right? What the hell am I doing? I'm trying not to be one of these blithering idiots out there. Except they want more and more to be blithering and blathering about because of whatever mental insanity they got going on in their head. I would call it mental instability. That would be it. I got people trying to convince me one way or another to be this and that, be that. And trying to tell me that I got to be convinced. I have to be doing this. I got to be doing that. And quite frankly, I'm getting sick and tired of following the damn rat race. That's what I'm doing. I'll find a place to put my phone down. Okay, you're off. Short power. And you're on this power. Alright. Okay, so the routine sucks for me in the morning. It's like in the midnight hours, I know that there's going to be a few people out there posting about how things should be and that they need to do this or say that or be this, be that. Gotta get these damn things cleaned. So they're trying to tell me indirectly by telling everybody that we have to follow this and follow this because of this and that and that and then this. With all the damn insanity going on. And I've got myself into this damn pattern throughout the last several years. That social media has to be the way of following the insanity of it all. Because corporate media won't tell us enough of the insanity. We must know more and more. I have to put a halt on this damn shit. You know, it gets bad enough is when I start seeing characters like this in my dreams, I have to start fighting them, beating them up. When I see a character and they're trying to be forceful and trying to force their will on me in my dreams, I start fighting stone. I mean, they turn into stone, but I'm still pounding on them. Because I'm trying to tell them, no, leave me alone. I should be saying the same thing to the social media situation here. Yeah, I listen to the national news to see what the hell's going on with the rest of the world that's falling apart. I should be listening to the local news to see how local things are falling apart. Out of Huntington Beach, California. Nice area to be in during the daytime, but at nighttime seems like the weekends are turning into a teenage nightmare for the people who just wanted to do an evening stroll along a beach or boardwalk. Kids terrorizing on e-bikes and being hoodlums. That kind of pisses me off. And then, while I'm watching this thing, I hear outside is that we have, I don't know, maybe adults having fun with their bikes up and down the place, or cars spinning out. I'll wake up during daytime and see the marks on the ground. What happened last night? I don't know. Lost their minds. I keep hearing people of the conservative nature want things back then to be this way, that way, that they perceived during, but they remember it as kids, but they didn't remember what the hell was going on back then as kids, as an adult perspective. The kid perspective sees things differently than the adults, especially when you try to do reminiscing. Because we don't think the same. We don't feel the same. We are not the same. We're younger, less immature, and don't have context. We'll read books, don't understand them back then while we're constantly absorbing the information as kids. Well, we start thinking about it as adults decades later, and I'm discovering this the hard way, is my context, my viewpoint has changed drastically because I had matured. I had turned into an adult, and things of the past, as much as we would, or maybe I would like to have it repeated, me personally, not really. I'm not going to be wanting myself to go back in the past, and or having the past brought back in some form or fashion, because there had been a lot of strife and struggle. But unfortunately, we got these older farts, older than me, my age, about 60 and older, who want things to where they remember them, and forcing this shit down people's throats. It's no wonder we've got an upside down, insane world at this point. We're trying to look back in the past where we were kids, where we had that simplest viewpoint. You dumb schmucks, we can't do it. We shouldn't do it. Why are we doing it? Because of you schmucks. You're going dementia happy. And we got the younger kids looking at the older farts going dementia happy. Guy we elected in office, we were warned a long time ago this guy was going to be losing his nuts. He was already losing his nuts originally before we got him in the office in the first place. And then his followers came. And then they want. And their own damn viewpoints. It's the one that the whole world looks at us as one big insane asylum. I said it a long time ago in some of my videos. Probably said it to someone else, but probably I would have to say it right now. Is we're doing this Make America Great Again, right? Or Make America First Again, or something like that. And in order to do that, we have to isolate ourselves from everybody. Yeah, we completely isolate ourselves. We toss out the old people we don't want. We put border walls. And then, do we also put border walls on both sides of the sea? I mean, we could do this to Canada if we actually had the money for it. We're blowing people away. Might as well find the money somewhere and go really broke. And once we have these nice, huge brick walls fortified on both sides, what do we want? Artillery shells or something like that to keep out the invaders? Well, who would be that? Mexico or anybody else? Or even Canada? Who's going to be invading Canada to get their ass? No, look to the sea. Okay, then what do? We do a seawall. We get these great, big, beautiful, golden plate pieces of shit ships floating around the water. Why? Just to make it look good. We get to desecrate our lands, our forests, our minerals, everything we've got for ego, for paranoia, for fear. Kind of reminds me of John Carpenter's Escape from New York and Escape from Los Angeles. Escape from Los Angeles dealt with an earthquake separating land masses, where an island becomes the only prison that you have because you're immoral. Prior to that, if you were considered immoral by a lifelong president, trying to keep world peace and uses Long Island to transport everybody and dumps them in there. Has us separated from the world. So I'm feeling that we've got these immigration prisons, these ICE detention centers. People are really having conniption with this. That's what I'm thinking about. We've got the United States Police Force. I'm surprised that Trump and the others haven't put that out there yet. Turning us into a madcap, surrealistic, dystopian empire. If we don't have that just yet. And blocking the whole world away from us, including trade, and we're going to be scrounging for stuff. And yet the rich, well, they get to have their own little utopias, but the rest of the people get to be living in crumbling places. Hey, it's today, isn't it? We're living in crumbling places. We're living in bug-infested places. I am crumbling and in bug-infested, literally. Black widows, and I got roaches. I haven't had the ants yet. They're coming. But in a world of dystopia, we have these people dressing up all sorts of red, white, and blue crap, trying to say how great they are, how great the country is, and how great Christian nationalist is. But they could never define it, have a unified way of defining the damn thing. They say, you're all following God, you're following God, 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 God. You know, God loves His praise, but the problem is, He's also seeing how much we have lost our minds, our sanity, and everything else we had. And I keep seeing all these selective clips, if I'm heading back to social media again, selective clips of showing people how we think their example is for the topic that they're talking about. They're talking about Christian nationalists. Well, okay, let's pick out the juiciest, nuttiest persons we've ever heard and make them famous. And then we're supposed to ooh and ah and have the world go, oh my God, no, America's really lost it. Yeah, well, you get a choice sample or two and you start demonstrating to the rest of the world just how screwed up we are. It's no wonder they're having issues with us. Because we actually started oozing this stuff out, I don't even know when. They already know that we were a racist bunch. You gotta look at our history of the United States. Turn how racist we were. We fought Native Americans, but we still wanted tribes. We wanted treaties with them, and yet steal their land, lie in front of their face, shoot the living crap out of them, have massacres. But we still want their land. But you got to be part of us. But you're not part of us. Why? Because the thing is, we are following the European, whatever the hell that was, European thinking. And where did the European thinking come from? Other places that we actually had. Keep studying history. I keep studying different ways and variations of how we grew and mutated into our environments. Lighten up the skin because of intensive sun rays, or less. And have to be controlling of people because they might hurt us. We have to war on people because they might hurt us, and we want their stuff. Said before by law in the logs I've been doing, we fight over two things: resources, but mostly ego. We want, therefore we're going to take. We're going to conquer. We're going to trade you and then mistreat you. We can write sorts of books concerning about our own damn screwed up human psychology. We can never get ourselves right, but if we do get ourselves right, we call it bullshit. It just makes me... It makes me sorry for the whole human race right now as it is. We're so conflicted. We are a young species, maybe over 200,000 or 300,000 years old, mutated from something. But even during that time, we created religions, or we invented religions, or we discovered that there's different ways of believing. in order for us to believe in God, it's not being taught repetition. We have to have personal experiences one way or another. For me personally, and I'll say this about myself, a 4-year-old is not indoctrinated into religion. Not just yet. He may get some kind of training, but somehow I didn't. I did not. I didn't know what the spiritual realm was. I know what an out-of-body experience is. It scares the hell out of a kid. And then you feel the most intense feeling that a kid can ever try to explain. An energy field, an energy thing that's more beyond a 4-year-old's comprehension. And he knew that he was comforted, he was loved, and he wanted to go back into that thing and just stay there forever. But told 3 times out of 3 out-of-time-body experiences that wasn't my time. And this circumstance was dealing with my open heart surgery. I was born with crooked limbs and a holy heart, literally. I was born a month too early, from what they said. Nothing wrong with the brain, but they didn't have CAT scans or MRIs to see what's going on. But they could find out what the hell's going on with the heart. And they tried to repair it. And I kept dying on them too many times. Once was bad enough. 2, 3. They were pushing their luck. So they had to keep an eye on me all the time. About 20 or more years, just to see if the heart was going to be healed up, and if it was, okay, they didn't have to bother with it anymore. He's fine, he's healthy, get on with his life. No matter how many times I kept trying to mutilate my body one way or another by car accidents, treehouse falls, or smash face in this. A kid goes through breakage left and right. But when it comes down for religion, when it comes down for faith, that's a different story altogether, guys. Because I was taught well after the age of 4 of God. How wonderful, how magical, how powerful God was. And the thing is, they could teach it out of a damn book, but until you actually got through the experience, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Maybe that's why I never had a chance or understanding of what their version was compared to what mine was. And mine was terrifying. Loving, but terrifying. I should have had the experience all my life. I should have had the feelings all my life of how God was just trying to maneuver me, or trying to protect me, or trying to keep me safe. And maybe I did, but just didn't realize it. But a kid that can't put that into context unless he has some stuff to put it into context, and don't understand it, that he can learn from. In my context, I knew what death was, and it scared the shit out of me. But I didn't die. Because I was kept alive for whatever reason. Didn't understand it, even though I kept talking to priests and pastors about it. But they would give me the Bible. And the Bible don't tell you much. Got stories written by man about this stuff and this stuff and this stuff, and anger, hatred in the first portion, and in the second portion, love. I'm like, okay, this is confusing as hell. The first portion of it's fight for survival, but the second time we're supposed to gather our senses and try to love and accept everybody. We're supposed to follow this one, and yet people who still had anger and resentment and fear would still fight them. Because it wasn't fear and anger that they had to live through. I'm supposed to understand this shit? I'm supposed to know this shit? I'm supposed to be part of this? What is this? Can somebody tell me? I can't tell you. I don't have an understanding and a clue. what it is. These days, in this particular century right now, it's getting worse and worse concerning about our own feelings of what's considered absolute religion or not. Of what's the absolute thing we have to keep following left and right. I guess part one, because I've got so fun. I'm just trying to keep these things short here. Part one, that being said, part two coming up.